You suck way less than I expected you to! Last week, I took a look at a printer that was buy one, get one free from JG Maker. By the way, if you want to see the unboxing and build of the other one, this is the one that you actually saw on film, there's one more. That'll be linked in our Patreon. That video will hopefully be live relatively soon. What we're planning to do here, this is the last one, I promise. For now, this is the last printer that I have. And I've saved not the best for last, but probably the worst. What is in this box cost me less than $50 US and is apparently a fully functioning 3D printer. Go ahead and put your comments down below, because I'm curious to know. Dumpster fire? Dumpster fire? Okay printer? It's a dumpster fire. I don't even need the comments. Let's go over the things that are right on this printer, because surprisingly, there are actually things that are right on this printer. It has thermal runaway. I know. I was just as surprised as you were. It is, for 50 bucks, exactly the amount of build quality that I expect. Not too great, not too shabby. A good solid D. And remember, Ds get degrees. And this will pass as a 3D printer. Now, things that it does wrong, that's a much larger list. It has no bearings. The items that are rolling over the steel rods are steel tubes. So it's a bushing. So this is definitely not gonna last long. It is made out of very cheaply injection molded plastic, laser cut acrylic panels. It does not have a heated bed, although it does have a flex plate, which is still hilarious to me. And it is not in the color that I ordered. I ordered orange, and this is yellow, so bit of a bummer. It also uses basically not a single standardized component. The stepper motor drivers are not replaceable. It does not have an LCD screen, so you are basically on your own. This works very similar to how the original PrinterBot Simple Metal used to work, where you either control it from a computer and send it G-code constantly from a computer, or it prints the first file on the SD card. Now, the plus and minus may allow you to go between models. I have no clue, and I don't really intend to find out. We were guessing that this printer was not going to have thermal runaway, and it absolutely does, which is surprising, to say the least. I'm glad to see it, right? There are so many printers out there right now that don't have it, and those printers are house fires. I was literally expecting this to become a house fire. There are there are 3 fire extinguishers within reasonable oh crap reach from me, specifically for this video. Now I don't get to have a printer meltdown. Dang. What we might end up doing is doing a video on what happens if you don't have thermal runaway by deliberately removing it from one of these printers. Because again, like I discussed previously, we have no intention on these JG Maker Magic 3D printers to ever utilize them as 3D printers. And it's pretty easy to disable it in Marlin, so I might just flash a new thing of Marlin onto it and show you what happens, because I think it's important for people to see the dangers that occur when your 3D printer does not have thermal runaway. We don't have to worry about thermal runaway on the bed because it doesn't have a heated bed. Although, yeah, the heated bed is made of acrylic. Now, it's got some Build-Tack-like surface. The wires are meh, you know, they get the job done. The cable management sucks. The end stops are generic, and again, the stepper motors are not normal. And even the belts are thinner than normal. These are not GT2 belts. Again, I'm not allowed to be mad at this. I don't think I am. It's relatively quiet. It will probably last a little bit, but don't expect to get good quality out of it. It is not a hot end that parts are available for. You will likely have to replace the entire 3D printer, but when you consider a brand new Easythreed V6 is something like $65 US, I bought this printer for less than that. Is this a 3D printer? Surprisingly, yes. We were gonna do a whole thing of its features, and then is it a 3D printer? And yeah, the answer is yes, it is absolutely a 3D printer. It pains me to say that. The wires are very anemic. I'm a little worried that the wires themselves may be too thin for the heater cartridge, but who knows, the heater cartridge might be more than sufficient. It does have 2 fans, although they are both on constantly. One of them is the part cooling fan, although this printer can only print PLA, so none of that is actually a problem. Bed adhesion is actually better than I expected, so definitely not going to complain too much about that. But yeah, I mean, it is a 3D printer. Let's go through this thing. I don't even need to open it to know it's going to be a problem, but let's go through it. Now, I have had this box for quite a few months. This was a Amazon Lightning deal for a 3D printer that is normally $100, which is way too cheap for a 3D printer. Remember, this thing was $90, buy one, get one free. And this one was the return unit, came with some broken stuff. We'll card to the video so you can take a look at it if you want to see what 90 bucks gets you in terms of the 3D printing industry. This is 50. Now, unbeknownst to me, this printer has been reviewed by other creators in the past. Linus Tech Tips famously did it when this printer was $99. Well, Linus, I got it for half that price. Let's see if it holds up for 50 bucks. I don't even remember what's in this box. It'd be funny if there's other stuff in this box. Wait, hold on. Is it a puppy? No, it's not. Nothing better than a sharp knife. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, hey, there is other stuff in here. Oh, I've been looking for these. I ordered labels for my label maker. This is a 5-pack of labels for my label maker, not needed for this video. So we'll get rid of those. We got air. Yeah. All right. Way more fun that way. This, like, it's so light, it's not even that difficult for me to move it. And that should tell you something. Wow.
Wow.
This is the Easythreed, and that's T-H-R-E-E-D 3D printer model X1. Is it gonna be as good as the company that Desktop Metal bought for $575 million? No, I do not even need to go further on this. We've got, oh, a user manual. New 3D printers must read. Oh boy, oh, you know this is gonna be some high quality. It's not even vacuum sealed. I mean, it's sealed, but it's not vacuum sealed, so that's gonna be absolute trash. Some rubber feet, a couple of screws, a definitely not jank AF micro SD card reader. We have these terrible micro USB cables. Laser cut acrylic, by the way. You guys have seen some laser content. We'll card to that laser video. The laser's right here. So you see the big red e-stop button? That's what it's there for. Let me know down in those comments. Do you want to see more content on the laser? I got to run some parts here. Actually, I got to make more business cards for myself. I'm out of business cards. So I got to make more business cards, and I'll film it if you guys want to see it. So make sure you leave a comment there. By the way, make sure you get subscribed because Friday, in a couple of days, this video is coming out on Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, ha, see? Grant can remember to do things with proper timelines. We are doing our first iteration of Print Fail Friday. Make sure that you tag us in Twitter, Instagram, whatever. We'll put the hashtag right on screen if you want us to take a look at your print fails. We have some spicy ones, including one that, honestly, if this gentleman wanted, or individual wanted to recreate, I just don't think it would have happened. This is a spool holder. Wow, that is the most anemic little spool holder I've ever seen. Hilariously, this thing has less pieces to put together than an Ender 3. Don't need that where we're going. Wow, this thing is like chintzy. Get you and just yeet. Out you go. Oh boy, this is, oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I have found it. The supreme leader of a quality 3D printer right here. Look no further. Links will be in the description. Just go buy one. No, please, under no circumstances should you ever buy this 3D printer. You know, I guess I can put links. And I'm pretty sure that I ordered the orange one. Hold on. I did order it in orange. But you know, hilariously, it has a magnetic flex plate. God. It comes with more features than an Ender 3. All right, let's actually take a look at this thing. So it's got a couple of screws there. Let's see if maybe we can figure out, because there are no instructions on how to put this together, so. Oh, wow, these are not traditional stepper motors. They are the round style steppers, which are historically quite a bit cheaper than other stepper motors, but yeah, that's a price cut. But again, like, it was 50 bucks, so like, can I be mad? Am I legally allowed to be mad at this? Because I don't think I am. There are two, what are these two screws for? I thought it was gonna be for this thing, but no, it is definitely not. Yeah, these, yeah, okay, this is how the axis locks in. Okay. Oh, that is chewy. And literally, it's just a pair of little thumb screws that go on. Hilariously, the screws are so close over here that the nut doesn't spin on one side, but it does spin on the other. I am only a little bit upset that I got the yellow and not the orange, because yeah, I bought this for a very specific purpose. We're gonna take this $50 printer and we're going to actually make it decent, because I can promise you it's not. That flex plate is not bad. I have seen worse implementations of a flex plate. It's just a piece of magnetic sheet with what appears to be build tack, maybe? Build tack sounds right. Yeah, we'll go with build tack. Feels like build tack, looks like build tack, smells like build, it doesn't smell like build tack. I didn't actually smell it, and I don't know what build tack smells like. Let me know what you think it smells like down in those comments. Oh yeah, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Let me go get another 3D printer that is very similar to this in that it has one singular Z-axis. I'll be right back. The Prusa Mini. It's basically a mini. God, even comparing this to, this is just wrong. No, I'm sorry. I love you, Prusa, but like putting you up here, I feel like you're just not going to work for me out of spite. Out of spite. You got a little plastic there. Let me clean you up. Yeah, the Prusa Mini is similar, where it has just a singular Z-axis with a pair of rods here, but these rods are double. These look like maybe 5 or 6 mil. These are 8 or 10. So, big difference. We're gonna get rid of the Prusa Mini now because I don't want it to think I'm cheating on it. I'm not. We got a pretty standard, oh no. There are no ball bearings on this machine. It's just metal on, no way. No freaking way. The connector goes in. Where does it want the screw holder? One of the other printers come with a better screwdriver. I want to pull this apart, so we'll use their crappy screwdriver. Don't turn it on, take it apart. There are some weird things, like there are grub screws here that hold all the rails in place, but it's missing one right there. Now, I guess that doesn't matter all that much because the print bed moves back and forth. That does not. That's just kind of odd the way this thing is designed. But I mean, geez, the fact that even at $100 that they can make a profit on this is surprising at best. It needs 12 volts, 2.5 amps, and it includes a wall wart. This motherboard is not a complete and total piece of garbage that I was expecting it to be. What are these driver chips? What are you? 4988s. These are Allegro 4988s. So these will not be a silent 3D printer, but were any of you expecting it to be? Because like, I wasn't. Now we do want to check thermal runaway on this printer because I'm gonna bet it doesn't have it. Oh, okay. Everything finally clicked. These two screws right here, it's for the spool holder. There you go, that is quality. I'm gonna do it. This printer's gonna hate me, but whatever. I presume it's gonna have something on its SD card. It came with a 4 GB card made in Taiwan. So of course this printer does not have a screen on it, so we won't be able to look at anything, and we're gonna have to make some kind of basic assumptions. Power's in. Ooh, we got a green light. Green means go, I think. Now, I wanna check something. Well, I can feel the motors on. It does not have a dedicated part cooling fan, so the cooling fan for it is always active. I find it hilarious that a $50 3D printer has a magnetic flex plate, even if it's one that is complete and utter trash. Ooh, that fan is getting noisy. Let's pull off the extruder cover. Wow, there are 2 fans in here. But yeah, you guys got to see this. Oh my gosh, look at that hot end. I want to pull the silicone booty off of it because I want to see what it looks like. What in the sin is that? I have never seen something that looks like this before. We'll show it to both cameras there for you. That is so weird. So the thermistor is just kind of there. It does come with a silicone sock. I'll give them credit for that. Now, I'm gonna need access to these wires, so for now, we're gonna leave this cover on, but I'm gonna be pulling off its thermistor here in this video so you guys can see what thermal runaway looks like, because I would bet this does not have. Honestly, it's pretty quiet. It's gonna home itself, so let's see what happens here. Is it only gonna home one axis? Let's see here. Let's see how we are for bed level. Honestly, it ain't bad. Of course, I have no idea how to heat this thing up because, well, there's no screen. I want to verify that the y-axis is actually connected. So this printer is a little unique in that the y-axis moves back and forth while the x moves in and out, which would mean that potentially X and Y are reversed. So that's kind of interesting. Getting that cable wrapping back on. Better to have something than nothing, but this cable management is basically beans. It's so bad. Ah, yes, the quality of the included roll of filament. Does it get higher quality than this? I think not. I clicked go. I'm assuming there's G-code on here, but if there isn't, I'm gonna have to go slice some code for this. All right, well, I'm gonna have to get a computer, so. God, am I gonna have to put my laptop on this? No kidding. It's got built-in G-code. Amazing. I'm gonna let it do its thing. I don't know what it's making, but it is feeding filament. No kidding. Oh, the bed level is so bad. Remember, this thing does not have a heated bed. Oh wow, it's actually printing. I will make you print. This is hilarious. Hey, I'm actually getting a pretty decent first layer out of this thing. It is going to print whatever the stock code is on that card. This is way quieter than I expected. If this printer was any nicer, I would say don't do this. But yeah, you're not really in danger of hurting this very, very cheaply made 3D printer. It's doing a raft, which should tell you instantly. We talked about it, I think we talked about it a while ago. That rafts are an antiquated technology. They're just not used anymore. They were used back when, well, printers didn't have heated beds like this one does not, as a means to allow ABS to stick. Now, I have no idea what this thing is making, but I am overtly curious to find out. Because, like, what's it? It could just be like a big middle finger. It's probably like a Cali cat or something. That's pretty common that we see Cali cats coming from these cheaper 3D printers. But you know what? It's pretty quiet, and I can't fault it for that. Oh gosh, why am I not hating this as much as I expected? This is ridiculous. I want a freaking screen. And these are stepper motors, but they're not this style. This is a NEMA 17 stepper motor. It's a known size. These are DC stepper, well, these are DC stepper motors too, but these are different style of DC stepper motors. This is honestly not as bad as I thought. Now, hilariously, this thing does have a part cooling fan, but it's on constantly. Now, I guess since it's a PLA only 3D printer, that's not necessarily a problem. But if this thing was something more than PLA only, that would be an issue. I just laugh that this thing came with a flex plate and an Ender 3 doesn't. This thing didn't. Although it has a flex plate, it's just, you have to, yeah, this is a magnetic flex plate. I have no clue what it's printing. Well, it wants me to put the feet on, so I guess I better put the feet on. Oh, she's moving up in speed, boys. She's moving up in speed. She's a maniac on the floor.
I'm a maniac on the floor.
There you go. The feet don't do anything, so we're not gonna put the ones on the control box. This thing is built to a price, right? Ultimately, it's built to a price, but hilariously, it actually prints, which is more than I thought I was going to be able to say for it. Let's get a secondary camera and let's take a look at this. Well, it is actually printing. It looks like we might have lost a layer in there somewhere, but don't know for sure. That is amazing to me that for 50 bucks, right out of the hop, this thing freaking prints. But does it have thermal runaway protection? We're gonna find out. All right, we've proven that a $50 3D printer can actually 3D print. Let's see if it has thermal runaway protection, shall we? Now I have just unplugged the thermistor. The printer has no idea what temperature it is at right now. I'm gonna put money on it doesn't have thermal runaway. No kidding. I was ready for this thing to catch fire. I was ready for it to catch. It actually has thermal runaway. You have got to be kidding me. What? How? Like seriously, freaking how? Well, that's great. I mean, you know, glad to see it, but I was not expecting. I was literally expecting this thing to melt down in front of me. So that is a huge plus. Now we do need to check to make sure that the printer is not continuing to heat. I don't smell any burning. This thing went into thermal runaway faster than the BOGO printer. So, yeah, +1 for Gryffindor over here, -1 for this really, honestly, terrible cable management. I mean, I guess they don't intend for you to do this. Like, clearly I am definitely violating some of the manufacturer's, you know, desired use cases, but I mean, come on, you're not watching this channel for me to do everything the right way, are you? Like, I feel like you should know better by now. All right, let's get baby's first 3D print off. Flex plate ain't bad. 3D print sucks. Let's do it one more time. Now, there is no power, so you have to actually physically unplug it. Now plug it back in. S3D print is pretty much garbage, but it actually works. It has thermal runaway. There is no excuse for any printer, any 3D printer. I'll say it again for those in the back. There is no excuse for any 3D printer to not have thermal runaway. There is no excuse. If this piece of garbage $50 3D printer can have thermal runaway, so should your printer. I am baffled. Baffled. I'm like kind of upset that this thing has thermal runaway. I was ready to go onto a freaking rant about thermal runaway and how it's bad while this printer was melting itself down, but I'm not allowed to be mad anymore. I was looking forward to being mad. Everybody needs a good yell every now and then, and I was looking forward to it. Now, what is our plan for this? No, I'm not going to use this in the business, like, at all. This is purely for the YouTube channel. We are going to be upgrading this printer to actually be decent. And now that I'm looking at this, I am very much concerned. We're going to have to rebuild basically every step of this printer. That includes all the smooth rods, they're out of here. The belts, they're out of here. The stepper motors, they're out of here. The bed, it's out of here. The extruder, it's out of here. The hot end, it's out of here. Basically, we're gonna replace everything. And we're going to do a build series on this to make it as venerable as the Prusa Mini that I had to put away. Otherwise, you know, it might get mad at me because it's jealous. Hurts me to say that this thing is better than I expected it to be. And I think that's because of everything that I saw for reviews of this is that it's absolute and utter trash, and it is absolute and utter trash. But when someone knocks it and says it's the worst thing they've ever seen, never buy this, you're expecting something that is truly a house fire. This is not a house fire. Now, I checked to see if the printer would recognize if it is missing a thermistor. It does know when the thermistor is unplugged. Let's see what happens if we remove the thermistor. I will say, when it comes to explaining how a 3D printer works, this thing actually does a halfway decent job. And again, I'm like mildly upset at this. I want to pull the thermistor out without damaging it. I pause this if I press this button. So I'm gonna press the play. The printer's got a play button. If I press it, it just stops. Okay. It says not to ever do that. I have removed said thermistor. This thing is crazy hot. What I'm doing is I am prying the silicone heater sock away from the printer so that I can slide in last thermistor bead. And what my plan is that during the print, we're going to pull it out. Now the thermistor is just barely held on. Let's take the print off of our flex plate. Both of those prints, I killed them. I am the one who kills 3D prints. It appears it has some semblance of thermal runaway protection, which is interesting. But because there's no button or sound or buzzer or whatever, there's nothing to really tell you, hey, I've got a problem. And I do wish more printers just had like an oh crap button or a buzzer or something. And yes, understand I am deliberately causing this printer to fail and hurting. I have no intention of this thing working much longer anyways. Okay. It thinks it's hot enough. Let's see if it's too hot to trot. Now, baby. Okay, it is way too close to the bed this time. The bed's way too close, but you know what? It's totally fine. It will not matter. I can smell it. It's definitely over temperature, but that's kind of to be expected right now because the thermistor is not where it should be. We're gonna let it get at least most of these base layers done before we go ahead and hurt it. Now, it doesn't have a filament runout sensor. We knew that though. Okay, we can validly prove this thing is still printing, so let's get the top cover off and let's pull the thermistor out. Now, as far as the printer is concerned, it is way too cold. And it's going to likely try to heat up quite a bit. Now, if thermal runaway does work, it should stop. Holy crap! Holy crap, it has thermal runaway. This whole video was hinging around the fact that this thing was going to catch fire on my table. And no, it's actually not going to do that. I hate to... This printer is safe. Ish. This printer is better than I expected it to be. Video over, roll the credits! It's terrible, but it's better than I expected. It has the key feature that we look for on any 3D printer that we test, thermal freaking runaway, and this absolutely has it. It also has a flex bed, which is hilarious because a lot of cheap 3D printers don't have flex beds. I printed way too close, might have damaged the flex bed, but that's okay. We're not gonna keep it on this thing very long. We paid $50 for this printer. It is normally $100 US. I cannot recommend it whatsoever. Wait for an Ender 3 to go on sale and pick it up for like 135, 150 bucks. I'll put affiliate links to the Ender 3 down below. But our goal for this printer was not to actually look at it and say this is good or this sucks, because we know it's going to suck. But our goal for this is to actually turn it into a printer that doesn't. We're gonna basically replace everything. We're gonna replace it. We are absolutely going to replace basically everything on this, but it is going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you get subscribed if you want to see this piece of crap get polished. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can polish a turd, and I'm gonna find out how long, and good Lord have mercy, how much money that takes. And speaking of money, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsor, 3D Musketeers. Yes, that is right. As always, we will be self-sponsoring these videos until you lovely ladies and gentlemen of the audience decide that, hey, maybe you want to kick us a couple of bucks through platforms like Patreon. That's right. We have our Patreon. It is completely live. And if you want to support the crazy, weird efforts that we do here at 3D Musketeers, you can head over to our Patreon. Support us for as low as $1 per month. Come on, who doesn't have $1 to spare? And it helps us get a long way into buying crazy things like this. If 50 of you donated $1 every single month, I could buy one of these every single month. But if you want to get your ideas out of your head and into your hands with full art part, rapid prototyping, and product development, utilizing cool technology like 3D printers, hit us up. 3D Musketeers, links will be in the description down below. But once again, I do not like this printer. It did surprise me that it has features that I wholeheartedly expected it to not have. But that does not, under any circumstances, make it a good machine. It has a lot of fatal flaws, such as non-standard stepper motors, bushings instead of bearings, a non-heated bed, a hot end style that I have never seen before and is likely absolute hot garbage. It uses Allegro 4988 stepper motor drivers, and the wiring is garbage. Like, it's crap. It's crap. But it's going to be a lot of fun for us to build up, and I think we'll show with the power of what this industry was all about, the self-replicating machine, we can actually make this thing halfway decent. And because it's actually like somewhat safe, quote unquote, we might actually have the printer print its own parts. My thought for this is that the printer wasn't going to have thermal runaway, and it absolutely does. If it didn't, that would give me excuses to use a Prusa Mini or one of our Mark III S's or even an Ender 3v2 to create the new parts for this machine. But because it does work, maybe we'll use this machine to create those parts. Don't hold me to that, because honestly, this thing sucks and I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm probably going to throw it on a Mini just for the sake of time and, more importantly, my sanity. But yeah, guys, it's not a terrible machine. I do not recommend that you buy it, but it does have the safety features in case you do find yourself late at night, maybe had a little one too many brewskis and decided, similar to what I did, maybe we should buy something like this. No, I don't drink, but this was absolutely a lapse in judgment to buy this. But for 50 bucks, the motherboard's probably workable. I'll see if we can get it to use a screen or not, because it does use a standard screen connector on the inside. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Were you surprised that this thing actually had thermal runaway? I know I was. I was kind of excited to use a fire extinguisher, because that would have been a lot of fun. And I was ready to tell all the lights in here to start flashing red. And I even set up a macro to do it. But I guess we'll have to wait for that for another day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to call your loved ones. Make sure you get subscribed as well, because like that does help channels like ours grow. We would greatly appreciate your support. And keep making awesome. Have a good one. Everybody needs a good yell every now and then, and I was looking forward to it. Ah! Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like dumpster fires like this printer, maybe you'll like the video below me. We'll card to the Cheeto box series, because that's a dumpster fire to say the least. Right next to it is going to be a perfectly handcrafted video made especially for you. And next to me somewhere is the list of our patrons. And if you want to have your name on that list, head over to patreon.com/3dmusketeers and support us for a couple of bucks a month. It gets your name in the videos and helps us create more videos, more better, more faster, more awesome. I'll see you guys down in those comments. This one should be a lot of fun. Have a good one.